Hi, this is Trevor Smith, graduate academic assistant at cIRcle. Today I'm going to show you in this little screencast on how to find and use statistics within the cIRcle database, and then how to create a chart from it. And then there's going to be a third little part on how to create a super snazzy chart. You don't have to stick around for that, but if you want to learn some more, here's just some tips and tricks from me. So first thing you need to do in cIRcle is, of course, log in. And once you've logged in, you need to go to the reporting suite and look at usage analysis. So as you can see, the usage analysis screen, it gives you some basic information. You can select from repository level all the way down to bit streams, and then it can show you your information in a graph or a data chart. What we want to do today is we want to find out how many items have been viewed and downloaded from a particular collection. So, having said that, let's go to collections level. And we're going to show statistics for a certain collection. So you can select it down to selected collections. You can do most popular as well, but for this scenario, we're doing selected collections. And we're going to go look at some mining stuff. So, let's dig into it. Ha ha ha. Arts go down. Oops. Applied science, mining, and BC Reclamation Symposium. Now some of you may be thinking, why would we do this? Why don't we just do it, scroll up here, up at the communities level? Well, I've looked at the communities level and it doesn't always give the most reliable data. So still investigating why, but this gives you a bit more information to play with anyways. So we're going to try it this way. Unfortunately, we have to select all of these. Next thing we need to do is we're going to generate our data. So we've selected the collection or community we want to look at. Got it down here. Two things we need to remember though. When we've printed this out, we've just included usage data for collection homepage views, item page views, and then bitstream downloads. What DSpace ends up doing is summing all of that information for you, and it's not particularly what we want in this scenario. We want just the item page views. So I've deselected collection homepage views and bitstream downloads. Generate the data once again. So I just watched here, this went from 195 to 136. That sounds a bit more like it. Now I can see though is that my time frame is defaulted to 1 year ago. I want to change that. I want to look at a bigger scope of this. So I've just selected the date option, bring it back to 2009 and December 2009 specifically. And I just hit update. There we go. Now I also want to look at compare the views versus downloads. But I can't do that in here. If I look at the graph here, it just, well, it doesn't even give me anything. So what I need to do is I need to take my data and put it into a program which I can use a bit more efficiently. And that would be Excel. So I'm going to scroll down. You see we can export table as CSV file. So this is what I've got. Okay, so the file now here, it's got everything in kind of a structured data format. So you can see we've got cell A1 highlighted and we've got all the months and years squished all together in the same row. We need to parse all this data out. So I'm going to select all this and go to data, and I want to take all this text which is in here and move it into all the different columns. And there's a feature called text to columns. There's two different options I can do at the first phase of this wizard. We can do fixed width, if you know exactly how long it's going to be, or delimited. In this case, we're delimited because it's characters such as commas and tabs separate each field. Now we can see we've got tab and semicolon here. So if semicolon wasn't checked, everything doesn't know where to parse it. As soon as I select semicolon, it knows where it's going. text qualifier is in quotes, which means it knows which is text, which is numbers. Wonderful. And now I have something looking like an actual Excel chart. So I'm just going to save this. Save it as an Excel file. Mining. So I've got my file saved. And I'm just going to rename this page, so by double-clicking on it, and call it Views. So let's go back to cIRcle. And I'm going to change this query from Item Page Views to Bitstream Downloads. Generate data. Just as before, I've got a whole bunch of data now, which I want to bring into Excel. So just like before, export table as CSV file. Open with Microsoft Excel. Highlight all of this. Text columns. I'm just going to run through this a bit quicker. And there we go. Now I need to bring all of this download information into my other table. So I'm going to select all of it by clicking in the right hand corner. Copy. Go to my mining file. And down in the bottom corner here, I'm going to create a new worksheet and just paste it all in there. And rename this Downloads so that I remember what I've got here. I'm going to make another one called Totals, and this is where I'm going to make my chart. So what I need is I've got all this information. I've got all the data for every single mine reclamation symposium in every single month since 2009, but I need the totals. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here, and I could just select this here, go to Home, on the far right hand side, Auto Sum. That looks right. I'm going to select Enter, and that's just giving me the total. Copy all over. So what I did there was I just held it down until I saw that crosshair, and that just tells Excel to do a copy of everything. So it did a fill right, and I'm going to copy this and put it in my totals. So is views correct? Yes. Call this views. Excel's sometimes smarter than we are. If you select over top of it, it forgets. So copy and paste this again. Now one thing I have to do is I have to change this, because if I just do a regular paste, you see it comes up, it's just copied the formula and there's nothing above it to reference what it's doing. What I need to do is I need to do a special kind of paste, a paste special of values. And boom, that gives me just the numbers. So I'm going to do this now with my downloads. So once again, down to the bottom here, Auto Sum, Enter. Wait till I see my crosshairs and do a fill right across the bottom. I'm going to copy all this, go to Totals, right click, paste special, values. A lot of finicky steps here, but the nice thing about these videos is you can replay stuff that you might miss the first time around. So now I've got the totals. Now I just need a time frame. So I'm going to scroll back up. No need for me to retype all this. Copy. Paste my dates up here. There you go. So now I have everything that I need for my chart. And making a chart in Excel is incredibly easy if you've got it structured correctly, which we do. So I'm going to go to Insert, Column, and let's do a 2D stacked bar chart. And there you go. It's as simple as that. Now, if we want to make this a little bit more interesting, you can do all kinds of things. You can go to Change Chart Type. You can make it 3D, which in this chart doesn't work too well. You can make a line chart. Kind of interesting. Horizontal bar charts, all kinds of things. What I want to show you though is how to make it a little bit more interesting. So here we've got a bar chart, whereas the first time around we saw it as a stack chart. Now you see the two values side by side. And while I like seeing the downloads like this, let's say I don't want to look at it in bar charts. First of all, let me expand this a little bit because it's small to see on the screen. Just going to drag it over here, grab the crosshairs, and tease it out. There we go. That's a bit easier to see. So you can see the downloads side by side with the views. What if we wanted to see this as a line chart though? You can actually do two different kinds of charts in the same spot. So I've just selected that series for downloads and then right clicked, and I want to change series chart type. So I'm not changing the entire chart, I'm just changing the series, that one column of values. Change it to a line, and there we go. But while that looks good, you can also do some more things such as formatting. So I've selected it once again, right clicked again. This time I'm going down to format data series. All kind of things we can play around in here. We're going for line style, smooth line. Now if you watch closely, you can see the change go from jagged to smooth. Jagged, smooth. So it's kind of a nice little feature. You can also format the bars so they look a little bit nicer. So I've selected the bars, right click, format data series, 3D format. Let's make this look a little bit snazzy. That looks so boring in, well, 1997. Okay, that looks a little bit nicer. And then I'm going to change material a little bit and make the lighting a little bit crisper. Hey, that's looking pretty slick. Now I just need to add a title. So I'm going to go up to the top in the contextual menu, go to Layout, Chart Title. Actually, I'm just going to cheat. I'm going to go back over here. Just grab one of these titles because it's, in this case, it's kind of long. Delete all that. Paste. Lost it there. And just take out the 1997. There we go. Now I'm just going to quickly go over a few other things. So let's say we want to make this a little bit nicer looking. First of all, if you wanted to put this in a presentation, this chart happens to be too long, but you can do things to make it look a bit nicer. So I'm going to insert, right click, insert a row up top. I'm going to grab that title again. And I want this to expand over the entire chart. Excel makes that easy for you with merge and center. Going to give it a, make it stand out a bit more. Change the color. Then I want this to be looking more like charts. That looks nice. But I don't like the way you can see all the little grid lines in the background. I go to View, turn the grid lines off. And now I've got kind of a nice, clean, white, crisp looking chart. Whoops. Move that over a bit. Kind of nice. But one last thing I wanted to show you is you can actually move it to its own page. So I've selected the chart. I'm going to go to Design on the contextual menu and move Chart to a new sheet. And now it's on its own dedicated sheet, so when you print it, you get just the chart. So some of those are more advanced steps, but really, this is just to help you get a better understanding of how to get your usage statistics out of cIRcle and then how to present them. So we've gone over how to pull usage stats out, how to separate a comma separated values field, and then how to make charts. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll do some more of these in the future.